All right, wonderful people. Welcome back to this wonderful channel where we bring you back update and information as to the hot. In case you have not joined our social media handle, what are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, it will be the first. We'll collect them. Let's go down to the news proper. It will be shame if Nnamdi Kanu dies in detention. Family alerts UK on his condition in detention. All right. Recently, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's health has gone from bad to worse. And of course, remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the Isi Afro Kwapupu of the recent Biafra referendum, Biafra struggle, and the liberation of the indigenous people of Biafra, of which you and I know that the people who are behind Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's continuous detention is not even the people in the federal, but some of his brothers who are in the political sphere, some governors, some politicians, senators, and the rest of them who believe that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release is going to become a big blow to them because the man speaks the truth and exposes the hidden things of the evil politicians. Remember that before now, about 5 years ago or 10 years ago or thereabout, between 2015-17 and back, now we kind of started talking about the invasion of the Fulanis all over Nigeria, which you and I know that is happening today, and that is to say that the man foresaw the future, and that is why the people who detained him have refused to release him, using the pendulum of injustice through his brothers. The Fulanis are using the pendulum of injustice through his brothers, making sure that Kano is still being detained in the DSS custody. If not yes or no, why is Sunday Igboho released and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention? The Yorubas fought for Sunday Igboho and made sure that he is released. El Zazaki, the Hausas, the Fulanis made sure he is released. And what about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? His brothers could not fight for him because they have been paid. Let's go down to the full detail of the information. Family of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB has alerted the United Kingdom, insisting that allowing its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to die in detention would be an utmost shame to their nation. Spokesperson for the family and younger brother to the detained pro-Biafra leader, Emmanuel, in a statement yesterday, accused the British government of not protecting the rights of one of its own during rendition from Kenya and continued trial in Nigeria. His statement read in part, "With heartbreaks burdened by sorrow, we, the family of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, issue the solemn declaration to the world. We do so not only in defense of our beloved brother, father, and uncle, but in defense of truth, justice, and sacred memory of over 5 million Biafrans slaughtered during Britain's orchestrated genocide from 1967 to 1970. The United Kingdom has never stopped killing Biafrans, only that the method have changed. Today, the same British government that armed Nigeria to stab Biafran children to death now stand accused of a far more cowardly crime: the silent, orchestrated, and diplomatic shielding of an illegal rendition, torture, and political trial of a British citizen for exercising freedom guaranteed under the British law. Let the world take note. Should Mazi Nnamdi Kanu die in the custody of Nigerian government, it will be to the eternal shame and blood-drenched legacy of the United Kingdom. Kanu, who accused the UK government of betraying his leader, brother, also recalled in June 2021, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, a lawful British citizen and leader of a peaceful self-determination movement, IPOB, registered under the UK law, was abducted in Nairobi, Kenya, subjected to extraordinary rendition without due process, and illegally transferred to Nigeria by operatives, whose trial the British authorities have deliberately ignored. This transactional crime was carried out in clear violation of Kenyan and international law. Yet, British said nothing. Worse still, their silence gave Nigeria the license to act with impunity. Why was the British High Commissioner in Nairobi inactive while a British citizen was drugged, tortured, and flown out in chains? Why was the UK Foreign Office complicit in turning a blind eye to this abduction that violated every known treaty obligation under the international human rights and consular laws? The answer is now painfully clear. Britain was not merely bystander. Britain was a co-conspirator. Following his illegal rendition, the UK government pretended to be engaged. The British consular officials visited Nnamdi Kanu in DSS custody in Abuja. He asked one simple question: why is the United Kingdom allowing a British citizen to be tried for broadcasts made in UK, where both Ipob and Radio Biafra are lawful entitles? The response was both evasive and inducious. Well, get back to you, but they never did. Instead, within 4 days of that meeting, Nigeria's then Attorney General Abubakar Malami quietly amended the charges against Kanu, removing London, United Kingdom as the alleged location of the offense. The only logical inference in that is that the British authorities either advised Nigeria to do this or consented to a cover-up to evade the UK's own jurisdictional responsibilities. Emphasizing more on the British government's alleged silence on the brothers' ordeal, Kanu said, despite IPOB's legal status in the UK and the total absence of any UK court order outlawing its activities, the British government has continually refused the challenge Kanu unlawful prosecution in Nigeria. Why? Because they know what every international legal scholar knows, that the alleged offense occurred outside Nigeria territory, that the primary jurisdiction lies in the UK, not Nigeria, that the rendition violated the UK's own Extradition Act, the Commonwealth Mutual Assistance Treaty, and all norms of international laws. Yet, when the question was asked of the British Foreign Office, why won't you demand that your own citizen be returned to either the UK or Kenya, where he was abducted? They offered the most cowardly response imaginable: we cannot interfere in a Nigerian trial. This is just false. It is a betrayal. The UK government has, in fact, interfered constantly by suppressing evidence, shielding Nigerian impunity, and erasing its own culpability from chain of events that led to Kanu's ongoing ordeal. Similarly, Kanu has accused the British government of being obsessed with Biafra. He said in 1968 they supplied the arm that killed Biafran children. In 2021, they supplied the silence that allowed their citizens to be kidnapped and tortured. What exactly did the Igbo people do to Britain to deserve this generational hatred? It is our resilience, our enterprise, our refusal to bow to colonial structures, masquerading as post-colonial government. Why is it that every time an Igbo leader rises to speak truth to power, Britain rushes to undermine him? It is time for the world to know Britain's hatred for the Igbo people has outlived colonialism, that they could not achieve the bombs and starvation in 1967. They now pursue through legal manipulation, judicial collusion, and geopolitical deceit. The time to speak is now. This statement is not made in anger, it is made in defiance. We defy the centuries of British deception in Africa. We defy the silence that enables crime against our people, and we defy the notion that a British citizen can be abducted, tortured, tried abroad without the UK lifting a finger. If Britain cannot protect its own citizens, then it should admit publicly that some British citizens are more equal than others. Let the world judge. However, listing its demand to the UK government, Kanu said, publicly accept responsibility for your complicity in the illegal rendition of Mazi Kanu, immediately demand his return to either Kenya or the United Kingdom, cease all diplomatic and legal support that sustained this illegal trial in Nigeria, initiate a parliamentary inquiry into the roles played by the British High Commission in Nairobi and Abuja in this scandal. Tell the truth. Why is Britain obsessed with silence Biafra? If anything happens to our brother, the Kanu family will hold the United Kingdom responsible, not because they failed to act, but because they chose to act on the side of evil. Their silence is not neutral, it's an endorsement of tyranny. Let the earth tremble with this truth. Let history record our warning. Let justice not be buried under diplomatic hypocrisy. All right, welcome back. This is coming from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's family, as they have said a lot about the British and Nigerian government as regards what is happening currently with the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as the government have refused to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or judge the case or do a sentence. All right, this is where I'll be winding down the curtain, and if this is your first time of joining us on this wonderful channel, kindly go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share, and also remember to on your notification button so that whenever our news drop, you will be the first to collect them. Thank you for listening. God bless you.